Picture this. You're on the 7th hour of your minimum wage shift. You're tired, sore, and you smell like grease. Angry customers are complaining left and right, and you just can't take it anymore. You get in your own head about it too. You think, why am I doing this? What is it for? Who is it for? Does it even matter? Does life even matter? Is life meaningless? When suddenly, your existential crisis is interrupted by an old wise man named Albert Camus. He puts a hand on your shoulder, looks you in the eye, and says, yeah, life's meaningless. Hi, I'm Sky the Philosopher. Let's talk about Albert Camus, existentialism, and why your meaningless life does matter. Albert Camus was an author, philosopher, journalist, political activist, dramatist, and French icon, born in 1913. We're going to talk about Camus because of two very important things he published. The Stranger, a novel written in 1942, and The Myth of Sisyphus, an essay which was also written in 1942. Mr. Albert is easily one of the most famous existentialist authors to exist. But what is that? And why does that affect your terrible minimum wage job? Goggle's definition of existentialism reads, a philosophical theory or approach which emphasizes the existence of the individual person as a free and responsible agent determining their own development through acts of the will. Let me simplify that for you guys and say, life is meaningless, so it's up to the individual to give it meaning. We're responsible for our own life's purpose. Let's go look at some of that work I mentioned before because they are really good examples of what existentialism looks like in literature. By now, most people online have heard the phrase, one must imagine Sisyphus happy, without knowing who Sisyphus is or why he's having such a good time. Here's a really quick backstory. According to Greek mythology, Sisyphus was a king punished by the gods for his repeated acts of trickery and cunning. He was given the brutal punishment of rolling a rock up a hill for eternity. Every single time he got it to the top, it would roll all the way back down again. So why would he be happy? He's trapped here for eternity, with nothing but stone to keep him company. And why should he continue? Nothing is forcing him to push the rock back up again. Well, this is what Camus explains in his essay. The meaning of his life is completely changed when he's sent away for eternity. So, Sisyphus adapted to his new state of being and returned a new purpose to himself, pushing a rock up a hill. Maybe it's not as fulfilling as being a king, but it is the entirety of his life. So why would he torture himself by being depressed about a situation he can't change? And why do we do that too? One must imagine him, and all of us, to be happy. Okay. Before I talk about this novel, I'll just give a quick spoiler warning to all you literature nerds out there. If you don't want to hear how The Stranger ends, skim to the timestamp shown on the screen right now. If you've already read it or you just couldn't be bothered, welcome to part 2 of Glazing Camus. The Stranger is a book about the meaningless of life, the existential and absurd, societal norms, and some weirdo French guy named Meursault. Meursault's mom passes right before the events of the book, and we follow him as he navigates his monotone life without really fitting into society. Here's where the spoilers happen. In the second half of the book, Meursault is arrested for murder. He's put into jail, and all the physical privileges that he had before, like cigarettes, alcohol, and a really attractive woman named Marie, are taken from him. At first, Meursault's pretty depressed, but after some time he learns to adapt to his surroundings and find moments of joy in prison. Does that sound familiar? Meursault's entire life's purpose is taken from him, yet he finds new meaning and learns to be happy. After spending some time in prison, Meursault is not given a just trial. He's judged more for his weird personality than his actual actions. This is a really good example of how something brutal and completely outside of Meursault's control happens to him. He's gonna be put to death for his crimes, but he also comes around and accepts that. Camus ends his novel with the line, I had only to wish that there be a large crowd of spectators the day of my execution, and that they greet me with cries of hate. This shows that Meursault recognized his new purpose, which was to be executed and hated by society, and took on that role. In fact, he wanted them to hate him, because that would mean he's succeeding in his new life's purpose. Now pause, cause I could yap forever about The Stranger and all the reasons why Camus did such a good job writing it, and my little summary does not do it justice. So I would recommend giving it a read when you've got the chance, or finding a video about it. But if you're illiterate or lacking time, just let me know in the comments and maybe I'll make a separate video about it. Thanks! Anyways, back to the main event. Here you are, working away, feeling bummed out. But this isn't a sad sight, it's your current life's meaning. And so are the people you choose to hang out with, or the hobbies you spend your time doing, or that homework assignment you've been putting off, or even looking forward to next Friday because you're gonna buy yourself a sweet little treat. You've added these moments to your life, which big or small have brought you purpose. Because according to Camus and the philosophy of existentialism, life doesn't come with purpose. Through will, adaptation, and the unfathomable power of the human spirit, it's your job to bring it. If you enjoyed watching this video or maybe even learned something from it, consider dropping a like. It's free and it really helps the channel grow. Thank you so much for watching and supporting my capstone journey. I appreciate it so much. See you next time. Bye bye!